I'm Jess.
I'm Jo.
And we are the Flygerians.
I met Jess and Jo, two Nigerian sisters redefining the experience of Nigerian food internationally.
We started cooking from the ages of like 9 and 10 at our grandma's house. She used to do like annual cookouts. She used to feed the community. She was all about bringing people together, bringing the community together and in life before life chops you.
And they run a restaurant called the Flygerians. They've been featured on the British Vogue, Time Out London, My London News and many other media outlets.
Just going back to the British Vogue, I think to be recognised by such a prestigious magazine that's recognised all over the world was sensational. For us to be seen, I think, for what we really are, which is a great, vibrant, fun business, doing great things for, like you said, our community and our culture. It's all about putting it on the forefront of the British food market. Our food's too great, our vibe is too brilliant for it not to be seen.
As I continued the Made by Us series, I figured it's very important to outline the role that food plays in exporting the culture.
Definitely over the years, there's been a big growth and interest into Nigerian cuisines, you know. People there are seeing people, English, white, Asian, everyone's eating swallow on the ground with TikTok, innit? I know maybe it's people finally realising how incredible Nigerian people are and our big personalities. You know, people know a Nigerian when they meet them, even before they said a Nigerian. I think music is a massive influence, innit? Like with the Banji coming out with Oliver, you know, having all the one day calls, all the like the big bangers that were coming out earlier. But I also think that just breaking the bridge where people are got social media and they want to connect to different cultures, just so people are looking for something new.
We talked about how it all started out for them. Growing up in the UK as a Nigerian.
Do you know what? Growing up in London isn't as sweet as our parents thought it would be. Our parents thought they'll come to London, come for a better lifestyle, you know, everything's all patterned up here, but I don't think they realised that there was the elements of racism, you know. On the way of that, I did lose a couple of friends to different gangs, to knife crime, and like I've lost a lot of people that I know in general that have died for senseless meanings.
And what is like running a business?
The love of cooking has to be there, and if it's not, you can taste it. So when people were coming, they were queuing, they could feel the blood and sweat that we had, were suffering that night and that day, and they were enjoying it. They would come back saying, "This is amazing. I've never tasted jollof like this before."
Join me as I chat with the Flygerians.
So what inspired you guys to, start this Nigerian restaurant in London?
Well, we're British-Nigerians, isn't it? Or Nigerian-British, isn't it? Depends which one you bet. I just say it in alphabetical order, innit? Rather than which one of level of importance. But we started cooking from the ages of like 9 and 10 at our grandma's house. She used to do like annual cookouts. She used to feed the community, everybody, and we used to have to cook and support her. And our grandma unfortunately passed away about 12 years ago. And we've just been like kind of trying to keep her legacy alive. She was all about bringing people together, bringing the community together, and just like chopping life before life chops you, which is our mantra, isn't it?
I was going to ask, who came up with that mantra?
The mantra is it's me and my sister Jess, isn't it? But it's a way of life, isn't it? You know, it's a way of life, isn't it? And it's a way. I feel like it's a colloquial term that we use anyway about chopping life in Nigeria, innit? So we just had to make it a way of life so that everybody knows that what we expect and how things are meant to be when you come and chop with us.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, chop life before life chops you is the ethos of the Flygerians.
Correct.
Right? And what that means, for people who don't understand Nigerian lingo is that just enjoy your life, man. Life's too short.
Right?
So let's talk about growing up in London.
Yeah.
What was that like as a Nigerian kid growing up in London?
Do you know what? Growing up in London isn't as sweet as our parents thought it would be, you know? Our parents thought they'll come to London, come for a better lifestyle, you know, everything's all patterned up here, but I don't think they realised that there was the elements of racism, you know. And see you later, celebrity. Don't worry. So I'll wait for you to go. This is Peckham, by the way. I say growing up in London as a Nigerian isn't what our parents expected it to be. You know, I think when they came to the UK, they had this dream of that everything being organised, that, you know, that kids would be safe here, that there will be that element where you'll be able to flourish, because no matter what colour of your skin. But I would say that when I was growing up here in the UK and London, that I didn't think that the sort of notion of being black was understood in a minority from my parents. So it was good. Like I would say that yes, we did have access to the education system, but kind of like understanding what a black child is and what our culture is was not known and was not willing to be understood by like the teachers and local authorities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we had the element. Yes, we did have access to free education, innit? But then it was it. you know, and how would it be reciprocated? And we won't list that again. I feel like that, like, I didn't really know racism actually until I actually moved out of London, where we used to get, like, people used to, like, egg our house, like, they used to, like, throw things. People used to, like, shout, like, the N-word from, like, the cars, like, and used to have, like, different sort of, like, elements. But we also had the disparities where there wasn't a lot of opportunities for work and stuff like that. Like, even if you look at places like Peckham, innit? Peckham used to be, like, the absolute hood, innit?
Yeah.
And it was a predominantly, like, black Nigerian heritage area, isn't it? But now they've kind of, like, gentrified it up. You know, now it's nice, isn't it? You know? Yeah. So there wasn't that protection or element that they had for black people, or people from different cultures that was here. So I would say growing up, it was good. I had a happy childhood, innit? I had a good family. My parents worked hard to make sure that I stayed on the right and narrow path. But on the way of that, I did lose a couple of friends to different gangs, to knife crime, and, like, I've lost a lot of, like, people that I know in general that have died for senseless meanings, you know, just because of a lack of structure, a lack of support from the government to the community. So, yeah. So the Flygerians was I can tell you how we first started, to be honest. Yeah, we started first in a pub, like an English, like, white pub. Yeah. And it was like, we were known for a bit of the party girls, but we love to cook, you know. I'm like, we keep throwing parties and giving drink and alcohol away for free. For free. Now we need to start a business from it, innit? But all jokes aside, like, we're able to kind of establish in a place like this in Peckham because we're under the Peckham Palms. And Peckham Palms is a female-led black space. So basically, initially, we had all the hairdressers underneath the train station. The government shut all that up. They closed everybody off, but they still needed to move all these hairdressers into a safe space, you know, that was affordable. So it is a social enterprise building, which is only allowed for female black owners actually to set up here. And there is a sort of, like, subsidised sort of rate that they charge us because of its social enterprise. But yeah, we're just pushing, like, everybody else in it, trying to do whatever we can to survive.
So I'm very curious to know, what challenges did you face bringing original Nigerian cuisine to a different audience?
To be honest, not many. Like, to be honest, some of the challenges that I may say that I faced was that some people, like, Nigerian food there's such a big community of Nigerian people in the UK, and there's so many Nigerian restaurants. Like, we're not the first, we're not the last, you know what I mean? And we won't be the last. But the thing is that there wasn't that hospitality aspect. There wasn't that hospitality element, I would say, in it. Like Nigerians were gatekeeping our food, you know? I feel like there was a gatekeeping. They were gatekeeping, but I don't know. I don't know if it's because of music. I think music.
I was gonna ask that.
I think music is a massive influence, isn't it? Like, with the Banji coming out with Oliver, you know, having all the One Day Calls, all the, like, the big bangers that were coming out earlier. I would say music also had an influence into it, but I also think just breaking the bridge where people got social media and they want to connect to different cultures. People want to connect to different cultures, so people are looking for something new. And I think bridging the gap, our food is absolutely delicious. Like, our food, Nigerian food is taste tantalizing, isn't it? And we've been gatekeeping it.
Literally.
And I think people are more connected about it. People are interested. You know, like, everything at the minute, like, Korean food is absolutely blowing at the minute because, like, there's this sort of, like, internet connecting people into what Korean food is. And I feel like with the social media, like TikTok, Instagram, that are spotlighting and bringing more attention to Nigerian food and different cultural food, people are willing to go out their comfort zone and try different things. So I would say the growth of the internet and social media is blowing it, but also, like, we're the Flygerians bringing something different, you know? We're bringing something different to the market, innit? That's what I'm saying, innit? Yeah. We're using our dual nationalities, innit, to bridge the culture gap, innit, and let people introduce people to our food.
Speaking of dual nationality, has there been any time where you felt like confused with identity and stuff like that? Did you ever experience stuff like that?
Yeah, I do. Well, while talking about dual nationality, I used to think, like, you can never fit into, you're never a Nigerian enough. you know. And then you're never British enough. I grew up in the UK, then when I used to go travel to Nigeria, they're like, some people don't even understand when I speak. You know me, I talk fast, innit? People are like, what is this girl saying? And then you come here and then people are like, well, you're not British either. But do you know what? I feel like it doesn't even really matter. I've made my own league, you know. I am enough for me, and I am British-Nigerian or Nigerian-British, innit, whichever order you prefer, innit. And I'm not trying to fit into any culture, innit. I'm just trying to be myself and be happy, innit. You need to understand where you're coming from and your heritage, but you also need to find yourself in who you are and your people, you know. Once you understand yourself, you'll see a group of people coming to do that, and once you be open to accept other cultures and different people, you know, you'll see that you'll see your community grow around you.
Yeah. Obviously, over the years, the Nigerian food has gotten more popular internationally. Have you noticed like any major changes with how people have accepted the, you know, the cuisine, different Nigerian cuisines?
Definitely, I think over the years there's been a big growth and interest into Nigerian cuisines. You know, people there are seeing people English, white, Asian, everyone's eating swallow on the ground with TikTok, innit? And people, I've seen it. It's gone wild, innit? But I think so. Yeah, I think there is. I don't know. I know maybe it's people finally realising how incredible Nigerian people are and our big personalities. You know, people know a Nigerian when they meet them, even before they say a Nigerian. Once you meet one Nigerian, you know how you know who we are, where exactly, you know how we behave, you know our mannerisms, and I think our infectious culture, isn't it, and our bossiness and our willingness to meet new people and accept and have fun. You know, people are intrigued by that and wanna just see what the culture's about and the food. You know, so I think like even with things getting better with music, sports, everything like that, people just want to know and try all elements of Nigeria. Right. And people always start with their taste buds. Yeah. You know, taste is always the first way that some people are kind of introduced to culture. True.
So speaking of taste, right? How do you guys manage to keep that authentic Nigerian taste? You know, obviously considering there are probably some Nigerian ingredients and stuff like that don't grow here.
To be honest, like, we've actually got more ingredients than Nigeria. Let me tell you this. I've been to Nigeria many times, innit? And sometimes I think the food in London is actually better, to be honest. Apart from the suya, innit? The suya, there's the University of Suya. But I feel like we import everything. Yeah. Everything that you have in Nigeria, you have it here. Come on. Like, Nigerians are not going to come to London and not make themselves comfortable.
You're literally the capital of Nigeria.
We're not going to, you think any Nigerian's not going to come to London? No matter where we go, we make ourselves comfortable, right? Yeah, we do. Yeah. The same with everything. You can import it. You can go to Bims, you can go down even to Khayyam's, the K&A butchers, which are Pakistani butchers, and he has everything there. There's nothing that you can't get through importation, innit? Legally.
Oh my. Yeah, so guys, we have Jess here.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much.
You look amazing.
Than't you so much. Just got my hair done. We haven't had it tongued, but I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
So I'm curious to know, how is it like running a business with your sister? I feel like that could be challenging sometimes. Or am I wrong?
No, you say this.
Yeah, you say this, but it should be easy, right?
It should be easy.
From the same womb and the same dad.
Exactly. And I think it's one of those things where I think there's different relationships with siblings. I think ours is a very strong bond where it's like we're best friends, we're sisters, we work together, we went to school together, shared a room till we're 18, we rarely fight.
She's
if
my
we
stalker.
Argue, Joe's my stalker. If we fight, it's because I've eaten her food. That's as much. And then 2 minutes later, she'll move on. I buy her more food, we move on.
Yeah. You just have to air it out. You have to be air it out.
And I think there's one beautiful thing about working with your sibling. No one knows you like your sibling. You have a bond, like I said, that's beyond any other bond. And it's one of those things where when you're down, you have that person to pick you up and keep you going and push you further. There's nothing like it. I think it's the perfect person to go into business with.
We also have our sisters working. We also have our other sisters coming to work here too, and our brothers. There's actually 8 of us, isn't there, Jess?
Yeah, there's 8 of us. 4 boys, 4 girls, same mum and dad. Don't ask us what they were doing. We don't know.
Can you share some of like your most memorable experiences, you know, just running things together?
So before this, obviously, let's go back into background. I'm an occupational therapist, just studied law as well, and worked as an EA for financial companies.
So we're the final Nigerian boss.
At the end of the level.
You got to have plan A and B and C, right?
You do.
You got to have plan A, B and C. But we were a bit of a party girls. Everybody knows our house, row house. If you don't know what row house means, then you don't know.
Forget about it. You weren't there, you weren't invited. Everybody's invited. We always had that kind of like that ambition to kind of enjoy ourselves. Chopping life is what we do daily. I mean, as a Nigerian, you know, it's in our blood. We can't do anything. Every day, every second.
It's a lifestyle.
Exactly. makes sense. So I think for us, one of our earliest memories, I mean, we always used to have parties with our families, bring our friends around, lots of food. I mean, if there's no food, don't invite us because we want to eat first, and then we're going to dance until the morning. So I think we've always had that, like, that kind of like vibe going. And then we did like supper club, we used to host like different small events. And that was all, we always used to like end up partying, dancing on the tables. It's what life's all about.
Standard, man.
It's all about letting your troubles go as soon as you enter our establishment. We want you to enjoy yourself, free yourself from your troubles, and be part of our family. And that's what we kind of exuberate and kind of try and bring more people like that together. So I guess it kind of goes hand in hand, like Joe was saying, that party fun lifestyle, but also finding a way to kind of make sure that it's sustainable. It funds your lifestyle, but also funds like it gives you purpose. It's a job as well, but it no longer feels like a job when you're enjoying what you're doing. So that's what we're all about creating.
So the other day, I saw the landlord Gigs. He pulled up at you guys' restaurant. How did that happen?
Oh my God!
I think it wasn't the other day. It was about quite a while ago.
I used the other day differently.
Oh, sorry.
You did. Get with it.
Oh, sorry. The other day. So what day was this? The other day. What day was this?
That's English.
That's Gigs was filming the Maximilian video outside, innit? And he had a couple of his boys down. They were shooting outside. And I was like, Jesus, that Gig. Like, we need to obviously go say hello. He needs to give us some food. So we literally just went up to him and some of his boys and like gave them some food in there, and then we started dancing for the video, like a video.
That was so jokes.
You know, that might be the third hustle. Yeah, Tessie, our seamstress and our hairstylist.
So she makes this is
was there in the Maximum video
as well. She's dancing.
The Gigs is the landlord.
He's the landlord, and he really loved the food. He helps us post sometimes as well, which is great. So when you get someone like that certifying your food, do you know what I mean, a legend, a Peckham legend like that, it just cements like what you're doing, and we kind of know that we're doing something great already. But to have people come and appreciate it, always makes it a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of certification, I saw you guys were featured on British Vogue.
We were.
How was that like?
British Vogue, we say it like that. Sounds sweet.
I like it. We like it.
British Vogue.
We like that. We like it. Make it sound so cool, isn't it?
The Nigerian. British Vogue.
We are featured. We're featured in British Vogue. We're top 5 in the best Nigerian West African restaurants in London. Oh, sorry, I've lost my voice, innit? All my credentials are choking me, innit?
Too successful, sorry.
So my credentials are choking me.
You're a clown.
Anyway, back to the list. No, joking. No, we've been on, we've been on British Vogue. We've been voted top 5 West African restaurants in London. We've also been on like Sunday Brunch. We've written a book. We've featured with Tabasco. But the biggest thing at the minute is that we've written 65 recipes, isn't it, Jess? 65 recipes.
All our grandma's recipes.
Sororities and blood.
The other day I was telling you I made Jollof, or my sister made Jollof. I took it to work. It's culture day.
And
they were asking me what's the recipe. My mom, I'm like, Nigeria, we know they do recipe.
Because it's all in your head. And it's your ancestors. It's ancestors whispering telling you it's enough. That's it. But that's why it was a lot for us to have to put it down paper. Like, just going back to the British Vogue, I think to be recognised by such a prestigious magazine that's recognised all over the world was sensational. For us to be seen, I think, for what we really are, which is a great, vibrant, fun business, doing great things for, like you said, our community and our culture. It's all about putting it on the forefront of the British food market. Our food's too great, our vibe is too brilliant for it not to be seen. So to have that seen in the mainstream media is absolutely beautiful. It's an amazing thing to do and achieve. And I hope that it encourages more people to try Nigerian food, because realistically, we've got a vibe and energy that cannot be replicated. It cannot. And you can never season like us, so just come and eat it from us. Unless you read our book and you buy our book. Then it's different. Then you might learn something.
It's on Amazon, pre-sale.
But that whisper of your ancestors is hard to replicate.
True.
But again, we put our heart and our soul into that book, so you can learn a lot.
You guys are doing so many things, juggling all of these things. How do you manage to prioritize self-care?
I think it's so easy to get lost in the moment and be busy doing work, but I think we always find time to look after yourself, because nothing works if you don't work. I mean, for your business to prosper and go far, right? Nothing works if you don't. See? And you have bars. It's true though. Realistically, in order to flourish and do well, you have to be of good health yourself.
Yeah, you do.
So making sure you take maybe that hour out in the morning, even if it means getting up a little bit earlier just to go to the gym. That's what I like to do. For Jo, like getting her hair done, doing her eyelashes, releases, little things like that.
Man.
Going out to party, which is our biggest release. Going to dance.
Margaritas and such tequilas.
Margarita tequila is our favourite.
But it is. It's all about doing. It's about working hard, but make sure you spend time doing things that are meaningful. You too. If that's from getting your nails done, getting your eyelashes done, getting a facial, just taking yourself away from the business and coming back cold. That's what you do. But you need to just make sure you get yourself a foundation before you can start leaving. That's the problem.
Because I think, especially in the beginning, we were in a state where we were working quite a lot. Remember, we had that crazy summer. We were doing festival after festival after festival. And it was one of those things where we didn't have enough time to look after ourselves. We were burnt out by the end of it. And that gets you nowhere, because when you actually do achieve the things you want to achieve, you don't have that. You don't feel like you can enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? You're not being present. You're not living it in the moment. In order to live in the moment and be present, you need to be well. You need to be able to sit back, reflect, look back, and think about where you want to go, to push further. Absolutely. So it's all about self-maintenance. Is a benefit for your business.
What advice would you give to other people that are looking to start a restaurant that celebrates their culture?
Do it. Do not give up. Don't be afraid. Do it. Whatever it takes, get it done. Because realistically, there's no one that can hinder you and slow you down from your dreams but yourself. You're always going to have people that say, "Oh, you sure that's going to work?" Or people are going to like that. Forget about those people. They will learn to love it. And people will love it. Do you know what I mean? Because people, especially in this country, like you mentioned, it's a melting pot of cultures. It's full of different like people from different backgrounds, different walks of life. Everyone has a story to tell. And if you're bold enough to tell it, people will want to hear it.
Absolutely.
So that's what I say.
Bars.
Bars.
But the advice that I would give to anybody that wants to start a business, you have to love what you do.
Yes.
It's not, if you don't love what you do, you're not going to enjoy it. And you have to be willing to sacrifice, you know? Sacrifice, and you have to be accountable. And that's the main thing to know.
Because it's a lot of work. I mean, it's not for the faint-hearted at all, but I would never discourage anyone from doing it. If I could do it over, I would do it over. Maybe not as quickly. Give me a day or a week or break to have a break. No, I'm joking. I would do it over again because it's worth it. And I think like if you don't achieve, like, what am I talking about? If you don't try to achieve these, I think so. I hope so.
I hope so.
But I feel like if you don't, you'll regret it. You'll live life in regret if you don't go for it.
You have to.
I mean, what have you got to lose? There's nothing to lose. If you try and fail, the most successful people have tried and failed 1,000,000 times before they made it.
So let's do
it now. It is. And you learn from that and you grow from that. So without that, there's no, like, do you know what I mean? You can't just say, I failed once, it's not going to work. Forget that, because you're not going to make it that way. You have to keep pushing and trying.
All successful people were failures.
Yeah, you can do it. That's the only thing I think that separates the successful from the unsuccessful.
But sometimes you have to fail to succeed.
You do, and you have to be prepared for that. And I think if I could tell ourselves, our younger selves, that it would be that you will make mistakes and you will fail, but you will overcome and you will achieve a lot better, and everything happens for a reason. Just keep pushing. Have that day. Be sad for that day. Tomorrow is a new day. Let's start again and let's smile and let's push forward with solutions.
100%. You know, it's amazing the work you guys have been doing. And
Thank you, Yemi.
You know, it's great.
Thank you so much.
And you know the mantra now. What's the mantra?
Chop life
before life chops you.
Hallelujah.
Say again.
You get me.
Yeah,
say it one more time.
You get
life before life chops you.
I need to hear it again.
You get me for life before life chops you. You get me. It's all in it, right?
We love to say in it.
Oh my.
It's very important to highlight the space of people like the Flygerians in the culture. How through the food that they make, they're creating a community not just for us, but also extending the culture to a much, much wider audience. They've created a very diverse but yet inclusive space, and the flavors of the food, absolutely delicious. Definitely a great way to get into the culture for non-Nigerians. This is a part of the documentary series titled Made by Us, where we shed light on the stories of Black and African people doing amazing things in their fields. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button and the like buttons and turn your notifications on for future episodes. My name is Yemi Oladapo. Peace out, guys.
Sacude como maraca, te miro y miro, sos sub y baja. Como en Caracas bailamos al ritmo del bajo y la caja. Y tú mi África, yo tu casino en América. Quiero bambinos contigo, ma. Te beso bien suave en el limón, ma.